So example 1 says find the distance between those 2 points. Express the answer in simplified radical form and then round it to 2 decimal places. So they gave us 2 ordered pairs, didn't they? Which I'm going to label as my x1, y1 and my x2, y2. No, that's slow. Alright, so remember the distance is equal to x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. And so I'm going to set up my skeleton. Guys, I really like the skeleton for problems like this because of the minus signs in them. That's where we mess up. If we have a minus and then we're plugging in a negative, we tend to forget one of them. They're not the same thing. A minus is a minus and a negative is a negative. They're 2 separate things here. Alright, so let's plug in our point. So what is x2?
2.
What is x1?
-1, so be positive.
I'll go to that in a minute. What's y2?
3.
And what's y1?
-3.
Alright, so now we're going to go through here and start solving. So we have the square root of, this first one is 2 minus a -1, and you said minus a negative is a,
Positive.
so what's 2 plus 1?
3.
And it's squared, plus, here we have, then we're going to have the negative, the 3 minus a -3, and minus a negative is a
Positive.
plus, so 3 plus 3 is, and then we're going to square it. So I get the square root of, now I can't just take the squares and say the square and square root cancels because of the plus sign in the middle. But what is 3 squared?
9.
Plus what is 6 squared?
36.
And then we can add them together, so I get the square root of 45. Now it said express the answer in simplified radical form. I can break the square root of 45 down. Remember doing that last semester? Alright, so I'm going to come back over here. I'm just going to rewrite what I have. And I'm going to take 45 and I'm going to do that factor tree with it. So what's that? 9 times 5? Which is 3, 3, and 5. Now we're after square root, so we're looking for how many of a kind? So we're going to take out a 3, and we're going to leave the 5 underneath the radical. So there's our exact answer, okay, in simplified radical form. And then it said to round it to 2 decimal places. So now we're going to get to put this in our calculator. So it doesn't matter if you type in your calculator the square root of 45, or if you do 3 square root of 5. You'll get the same answer. And what do you get? So 6 point, go ahead and give me a couple decimal places. Just name 7082. Alright, because it told us to round to 2 decimal places, right? So that means that's the last one I'm going to use. So what is that 8 going to make happen? Is that going to stay a 0 or go to a 1?
1.
It's going to become a 1, so 6.71.